Welcome Andy Anderson and his daughter, Linnea Wantz. Linnea, you're going to talk to your dad about some very important things. Please go ahead.
I really am. This is a very special day for me. So as you heard, I'm Linnea. I came all the way from Los Angeles. I'm a personal trainer in honor of my father's 86th birthday to help him create a little family record, and he would like to talk about some of his life lessons and just teach us some of his wisdom, and I'm very excited about that. So Dad, why did you want to create this family record, and what is the purpose of this?
Well, I have 5 grown children, all married and have children. We have biannual reunions, and we have about 50 people. And I want to capture some ideas to carry on for future generations, and I've always been enamored with my own words. So right now I had a stroke a few years ago, but I'm able to express myself in a halting manner. It only affected my thought, not my mind.
That's for sure. Very, very clear. And that's right, we have a family reunion coming up, and it is exploding. We have more than 50 people at least come, lots and lots of great grandchildren coming on board, and I can't wait for them to hear, again, these words of wisdom that you have to say today.
But we gather in Reading at my grandson's place, and huge shade trees and a lot of happy talk and laughter and good visiting.
Beautiful. So you were wanting a little family history and life lessons learned. Can you tell us some of the things that you learned from your parents growing up and things that they imparted to you?
I'm very fortunate that that's my first word. I was born to Scandinavian parents. They were very loving, and they did something that was, I think, were unique. They honored us. There were 6 children that treated us with great respect and have high hopes for us, and so we had a good start because we all felt we're special. So that's the way I treated my 5 children too. Treated them all with respect and honored them and expect the best of them. They didn't disappoint me.
Yeah, we love you.
Yeah.
And you actually have done an amazing job of teaching us to honor and respect everyone around us. I have to say that you and I have a very special connection. My mom passed when I was 13, and my dad just stepped up and really helped me grow up. It was just beautiful. So we had a lot of really good times, and for a man to raise a teenage daughter, it's not always the easiest. Yeah, and I had a lot of friends come over, so he's taught me quite a bit and helped me grow up even faster than most.
I have to hasten to say, he didn't always do what I said, but you're polite about it.
Not me?
You were polite and respectful, and yes, you were a rescuer. I think we had 2 or 3 teenage girls sing at our house, and that was added to my challenges. I was also blessed with the idea. I encourage you to roller skate and ice skate, and we did a lot of fun things together. So you made my life much more interesting and challenging because I've never been able to understand the feminine mind. I still don't.
I went through my books the other day. It was very funny. And I found this one journal, and it said Andy Anderson on the outside of it, right? And on the first page it said everything that I know about women. And then I went through all the pages and they were all blank. That was his full journal. It was so funny. But you have to go back, though, to the point that you made that I was a rescuer. And that is something that I get from my dad. He is, got such a servant's heart, and he's such a lover. And he has always been there for just the down and out. And so he passed it on to me, lucky him. And so I brought home all the girls that didn't have a place to stay. Maybe had a drug problem, or something. But, they ended up being good friends. And we together helped turn their lives around. And they're still good friends today.
My other children, Sandy is a rescue too. She has a nursery school for little grandchildren and others. And Wally, I'm living with Wally, and he and his wife have a steady stream of young men, and staying at this time. Your son is staying with us temporarily. They all feel welcome and at home. To all the other children, like Aaron, you stay with my other son, Aaron. So that's a good family dynamic. I'm proud to be passing it on.
Very true. So I have two sisters, Janice and Sandy, and two brothers, Wally and Aaron. And absolutely, everyone has a ministry of helping people. And I have two sons, Corey, who's 25, and my youngest son, my baby, 23, who just got married. So family's growing, and they have stayed at everyone's house, and so welcome. So we have the most amazing family. Just no drama, full of love, and that's definitely come from you.
Well,
thank you.
I was blessed with having a normal appearance and ability. When I married your mother, she contributed a lot to the gene pool. So she was very pretty and good balance and good musical ability. So you got the best of both of us. She contributed a lot and to all of your futures. So I praise the Lord, as I've had many rewards, and my number one reward now is seeing the family in action, doing things like your sister is in Machu Picchu right now.
Actually, she's back right now. She went in honor of Martha, my cousin, who recently died of Lou Gehrig's disease. And so one of Martha's lifelong desires was to climb Machu Picchu. And so Janice was given some of Martha's ashes, and she went all the way to the top of the mountain and to sprinkle some of Martha's ashes at the top. So very special trip. So she's back now. It was a huge success. So what a beautiful, again, thing that your siblings do for one another and the people that they love in their life. I'm on a 10-day road trip, and every city I go through, if I have some relatives there or friends, I'm trying to stop in, even just for a cup of coffee. We don't always take the time to stop and just say hello and give a hug to the people that we love. And this has been a really wonderful trip so far. So I'm here for a few days to spend with you. I miss you. Haven't seen you in quite a while. So I wanted to find out, you were talking about life lessons. Can you tell me some of the turning points in your lives and the life lessons you learned from that?
Which we rewarded with some innate characteristics. I think I pass it on to all of you, because to accept whatever happens to you and make the best of it. So be proactive in life. So I fortunately I had a will to get an education. I didn't like this old axiom, exchanging muscles for money. My dad was a little disappointed in me because I couldn't fix broken things, but I knew I have to have a purpose in life, and I knew I have to be prepared. So I had the will to do an education. I spent 4 years in the service, so I got the GI Bill, and I managed to get a master's degree, and I had the opportunities to say my words in teaching. So that was a very great reward for me to have a ability to do it and the will to do it. Mm-hmm. So that's one of my life lessons. You need the motivation and the will to accomplish something. So we just feel limited that I didn't have any special talents, music or art or superior intellect like my children. So I studied hard and got a master's degree so I could teach at any level I wanted to. So that's why for 42 years I taught many subjects, but so many people had influence in my life. When I got out of service, I read a book by Chad Walsh, and he talked about seeking the higher ground. Accept the opportunity to raise your sights and reach out to others. And then I took the Charles Simmons course.
What was it, Charles Simmons?
Yeah,
okay.
In San Francisco, about 21 or 22. It cost me a day's wages, but Charles Simmons said he had a book and records, and I write to lectures, and he said, you understand what I'm passing on to you, and make you happier and make you a good salesman, and also make money. But the most important thing you can ever do is being a good dad. So that resonated with me. So I was inspired to reach out and do my best and be a good dad above all. So that's why I went into teaching parenting. Now, the book I read on parenting, the books I read, but Phil McGaw, he still had a program, a television program. I read all his books, and I put a course together. And
I remember that.
Yeah, I started at junior college, and right now I'm teaching at Ali, the also lifelong learning, and I read Linda Papa's book, The Pace of Grace. I'm sure you remember that.
Pace of Grace, yes, you gave that to me. Very good.
Yeah, I'm teaching, I'm still saying my words, and I feel the need is part the ego, and part that I want to pass on what I have learned, because in my own mind I'm successful. I never had a lick of sense as far as money or property. I didn't feel I didn't feel the imperative of ownership, because ownership means
responsibility.
Responsibility. I didn't like that. So I don't own anything. Another thing, as a blank spot, I was not competitive. I didn't want to beat anybody, so I didn't engage in any competitive sports or activity. But I learned to play chess and Scrabble. I like to win.
Very well.
But I want to get my own records. So we have played Scrabble.
And chess,
Your son is a very good chess player.
Yeah,
they play a lot of chess at our house.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
I don't think anybody can beat Corey.
I don't know, but he is pretty darn good. And he actually stayed with me just recently, and he's kind of helping me to refresh my chess skills. So that was really fun. And I have a new stepdaughter, and so he was teaching her how to play. And she's doing pretty good.
So remember, you took me on a cruise and Mediterranean cruise, and we took the little boys and taught them to pinochle and chess.
We did. Yeah. Pinocchle's another one of our family games, and they love it. So we've passed on. Well, I say we because I have kids now, but you've passed on a lot of very fun games, and they're all mentally challenging. And I know that's huge with you. You're always doing Scrabble and crossword puzzles, and constantly keeping your brain sharp. And I think that at 86, you may have had the stroke, but you're still out there making a huge difference in this world and contributing your wisdom. Yeah. I did want to summarize a little bit of what you said, because you said so many great things about taking the higher road and being a great dad, and passing on just the things that you've learned. And I know, and also you got an education, and you weren't good with your hands, but you knew that you were smart and you could use that. And all of that, I just have a quick little highlight. I love the fact that with all of us, all of us kids are a little different, but you always encouraged us to do what we were good at. And I think that's a great thing, a great attribute as a father. Okay. Because when you try to get your children to do what you want them to do, but yet they're not good at it, or they don't have a passion for it, it can hinder them or stifle them, or maybe even take away from what God created them to do. Yeah. And we all have a purpose in this world, and we all have a special talent and ability and something to contribute. Okay. And I feel that you have allowed us to do that, and you've encouraged us to be who we're, that God created us to be. And also, again, taking the higher road, you taught us always to be, the best, respectful and honor those around us. And when you do that, good things come to you. Okay. Really do. And education, encourage us to have a good education. That's really smart. So, so you've been a great dad. I just want to say that.
It's been a pleasure to associate with wonderful people at our reunions. No arguing, no fighting, and no in and out. We're all equal, and we gather together to share our ideas. And I didn't believe in brainwashing. I didn't believe in forcing all the children to have my religion. I taught in a local school for 4 years, but I steered away from making my understanding of my truth passed on to the children. Now, none of my children go to the same church that I do, but they're all strong, all happy with they're not victims. They're not victim of ideas or lifestyle or anything. So they're free to make their own minds. So I respect the wisdom and insight that my children have. So I honor them.
And I appreciate that. I know you always did tell me just to pursue God, and I love that. And that was actually, we talk about turning points in our life, and I want to hear some more of yours. And one of mine was when at 18, when I was really hungry to know God, and I found the Bible, and I really fell in love with my Creator. And you always encourage that. You always encourage my relationship with God, and I so appreciate that. So just that time when I gave my heart to Jesus, really, I that was a huge turning point. But I was always a happy person, but I mean the joy level and the peace I got at that point has stayed with me, and it continues, and my children walk in that as well. So thank you for that encouragement. But yes, all of us have a love for God in this family, and so that's wonderful. So what's such a great turning point in your life?
A time I got a teaching credential, an opportunity to share my ideas. I was a reader. My older sister taught me to read. I was very young. She was my teacher, and I like reading. So I've been a reading teacher for many years, I taught remedial reading. I wrote the course for remedial reading, and I taught professional reading. You remember?
I took one of your courses, speed reading.
Yeah, speed reading. Yeah.
I did.
So, and I'm a great reader because I watch television a little bit, but I read for 2 hours every night, and magazines and books and journals. So that's the riches of my life. I did that from when I was a young child on the farm. So the turning point with my life was accepting the opportunity and to learn reading and teach reading. And my major goal in life was to be more and share as much as I can of my wisdom. I never fell into the money trap. So I'm smart enough to make a living for us and have a nice retirement, but I didn't accumulate any wealth. So all you children knew that dad was not supporting you. You have to be strong, and you all learned that from the very beginning. One of your first jobs you got when you were just a teenager in high school or just after high, you had a job in a business handling money. But when you were with me, I didn't trust you with more anybody because I didn't think you knew how to handle money, but you handled it very well. So on your own. So I'm amazed at you and all the other children. Two of my children have written books. Aaron has written a book, and Janice has written a book. So the children are all very literate.
Very little. I think that everybody has published something. I've got a few little things out there, but yeah, everybody is a continuous contributor as you are. They have words to say as well.
Yeah.
So, growing up, there's some things that you really contributed to me, and I love the fact that you always taught me to be positive. It's like negativity was not allowed in our house. It's like there's always, look at the positive side. I mean, if we broke down the side of the road, something good's going to come out of this. It's like there was always something positive and very, very optimistic. You passed on a lot of optimism, and I love that. You passed on a love for nature. I used to get a quarter for every varmint I'd see on the side of the road, so I was always looking. But you made me appreciate, you taught me to appreciate, not only the people around, but the nature around as well. And then something I know that you wanted to talk about was training your mind. And our actions follow what we think about, and that's another thing, is that that's all about that positive thing and being optimistic, because that's a choice. So talk to us about training your mind, because you're really good at that.
Well, I've been into mind control, mainly my own mind. So I don't think we had to be victim of our thinking, negative violence or anger. So I believe in making my mind behave, and that's what I used to when I made to a saint like I am now. I don't drive anymore, not because I can't, because I chose not to drive. So I train my mind to be more dependent on others. I have been transporting people all my adult life, so I share the ride, I meet new people, I accept it as a positive thing. I don't regret and don't feel bad about it. So every change has a reward in it. So I always believe, look for the good and praise it. look for the good and praise it. Don't be victim. I never saying so. Make people strong, not wrong. Make people strong, not wrong. It's so easy to criticize, and you have to train your mind to think of something good to say to this everybody. I try to, every time social contact, I hope they feel better as a result. I don't need to. I hope I never tear anybody down. I want to make them feel stronger as a result of our contact. So that's just one of the things that I incorporated into my belief system. And we have to understand the body and mind connection. Your body talks to you when you're hungry or thirsty. Your body talks to you, and you can talk to your body too. And yesterday I took a long walk with my lady friend, and I walked farther than I have in years because I told myself we're going to have a nice walk. I'm not going to feel a pain or discomfort. I'm going to enjoy it. After about 45 minutes, we took a break and had a rest. I felt great. So I talked to my body, and my body and mind interacts, so we don't have to be victimized of our body. So our bodies wants sweets. Then I was diabetic. I was diagnosed at the beginning diabetic a year ago. I don't eat any sweets. I talk to my body. The body wants new. It's poison to your. Don't eat sweets. I eat crackers, but I don't eat much salt anyway. So you have to make your body mind. Mm-hmm. Your body has to make your mind obey. So you can be in control, and you can determine the outcome. So as long as I'm here, I want to be healthy and upbeat, and I don't want to be a victim.
So Dad, thank you. That was incredible. Everybody listening can get so much out of that, and I'm so happy that our future generations can glean that from you. And something that you said that really resonated with me is that you can look at the positive in change. Like, change is not a bad thing. Okay. Because so many times, even if it's a tragedy in our life, that is a change. It changes the whole situation. And we can look at all the negative in that change. And it doesn't have to be a tragedy, but like with the drivers driving, you're not driving anymore, but you're looking at the positive. Okay, I get to share a ride. I get to have more conversation with people. You're finding the good.